Hello, members of the Blue Water Battle Circuit. This is Shane Watson, bringing you the power rankings of week one. Before we get started, I want to explain what some of this stuff means. This 6,000 number is the base stat totals of everyone's Pokemon. I added them all up. Just to note, the uh, the compared to last season, the numbers aren't drastically that different. The highest number last season was 6,520. And this season it's 6,824, so a 300 gap difference. There's not a huge, and then the lowest was 6,060. The lowest this season is 6,168. So overall there was not like a huge difference between like the numbers. If you exclude the Orlando Magic mics, it's only a 400 difference between uh, 1 and 7. These are your power ranking numbers for this week. They will change during the season. Just because we haven't done any battles, skill is not being considered. It's kind of just team symmetry, threats, stuff like that. I do want to point out that, again, that there is no bad team here. I do feel like any one of these teams could win any week. So picking between the two is just like little things. Like this could have been better than that, something like that. So starting off, we have the Seattle Squirts. Top down, this team isn't that bad. Latios is a great Pokemon. It can defog, it has a good special attack, really good special defense. Its physical defense isn't that bad, but it's not going to appreciate a special effective Dark move or something. Charizard X is a really good Pokemon. It's a great physical sweeper, it's a good physical wall breaker. You can actually run it physically defensive. It's pretty good at that. Landorus I is a great Pokemon. It's a good wall breaker. Immune to ground and electric moves, which are two of the most common move types in the game. Gengar did take some L's this season, but it's still a really good special attacker. It's a really good fairy killer, even though it doesn't have its levitate anymore. Manaphy is a great Pokemon. I'm watching seasons like the GBA and stuff. People have lost just because Manaphy's on a team. It's that good of a Pokemon. Tail Glow, once you get that +3, in just one turn, it becomes a huge threat. Togekiss is a great Pokemon. Fairy is a great type. Flying's a great type. Serene Grace is one of the best abilities in the game. Dugtrio is a great Pokemon. Being able to trap a Pokemon and just knocking it out is a great thing to have. Nidoqueen, really good wall. Starmie is one of the best rapid spinners in the game. Suicune is great at its job of just being a fat Pokemon, passing around Scalds and whatnot. Snorlax is a great pick. It's a really good wall. It can be a really good physical attacker. You can run it especially if you want to, even I don't recommend it. The reason that the Seattle Squirts overall are number 8 though is mainly because we all have 12 Pokemon and this team has 11. I hate to shit on Onyx, but it's not that good of a Pokemon. So if he drops Onyx and picks up another Pokemon, that would definitely boost him up. Also, a lot of Pokemon contradict each other. Like, Manaphy is a good Pokemon, Starmie is a good Pokemon, and Suicune's a good Pokemon. But as like the three of them together, you're not going to bring 3 of those Pokemon on a team. Probably not even going to bring 2 of them. So he might just want to drop one of these 3. Probably, I would say Starmie, but he does need a Rapid Spinner because you need one with Charizard. So, but then also you have a Bulky Water. So I don't know what the moves are, but there's moves that need to be done on this team. And that's mainly why I ranked it number 8. I'm going to get some shit for this one, but the Port Huron Pidgeots are number 7. It's not a bad team at all. The only problem that I have with it is that there's a lot of walls, and there's not a lot of threats. Like, other than Mega Sharpedo. There's not like a Pokemon that I would fear prepping for. And then there's a lot of Pokemon that contradict each other. Like Jolteon's a great Volt Switcher. Manizone's a great Trapper for Steel types. Also, it's an okay Volt Switcher. Rotom Wash is a great Pokemon. Sylveon's a great Pokemon. Porygon 2, Celesteela, Marowak. But there's a lot of walls, so there's a lot of Pokemon that contradict each other. So I would say if I had to drop a Pokemon, it would probably be Porygon 2. That's because Celesteela and Toxapex do its job better. But like it's not a bad team. It's just um, there's better teams out there. And also like Arcanine's a great Pokemon, but as a first round pick, not the best. Also Gudra's a solid Pokemon as a second round pick, not the best. Marowak is a um, third round pick. It's not bad, but it's not great. Celesteal as a fifth round pick is actually pretty good. Cortana's great. Porygon, eh. Toxapex is good. Rotom's good. So there's small moves on this team that have to be made. But other than that, it's not that bad. Next, we have the Abilene Absols. This team is really good, top down. The only problem is kind of like the Pidgeots and the Squirts. There's some Pokemon on this team that do the same thing. Like Blissey is a great wall, Feeney's a great wall. They're also both clerics, so it's kind of a little contradictory right there. And then we have one, two, three, four fire types on the team, which I would with Ninetales on the team, you could say it's a decent Sun team, and also Venusaur does need the Mega Stone on it, but you don't have to Mega Evolve it, and you could run Chlorophyll. But when you have three Pokemon weak to fire on your team, it kind of makes no sense to have a Sun team that way. Also, like Feeney's water attacks are going to be lowered, and then you could run Solar Beam Tapu Bulu, even though I think that's a trash set. So the team is really good, and probably like Volcarona and Volcanion and Ninetales most likely aren't going to come the same week. So the team's not bad. It just like the other teams needs a little bit of work. Next we have the Golden State Wobbuffets. Overall, this team's really good. The only problem I had with it is there's a lot of steel types on this team. There's four in total. Two, I know Steel Fairy is one of the best types in the game, but having two of them is a little contradictory, even though that Mega Mawile and Magearna are probably like two of the top 10 Pokemon in the game currently. Dragonite's a solid Pokemon. Chansey is great at being a wall. The only problem is that if you have Chansey, someone's gonna bring knockoff every week, just so they can get the Eviolite off. Even if you don't bring it, you're still forcing them to bring knockoff, which means you're gonna start losing items. And then when you have two Pokemon already weak to Dark itself, is that the best idea? Um, Sylvanny, I think, is an interesting pick. I was thinking of picking it up, but the only thing it does is it's a solid Pokemon of that type, and that's all it really is. Like when you're sitting there and there's like you have five Pokemon you know you have to bring, and then you don't know what the sixth one to bring is. Savelli is really good at filling that gap, but that's the only thing that's really great for. And then one small problem I have is Dragonite and Haxorus. Both are excellent picks. The only problem is that they both do the same thing, and I think Dragonite is slightly better than Haxorus in that way, just because it does get priority. I think the only thing that Haxorus is better than Dragonite at is that I think its speed is slightly higher, and then it has slightly higher attack. But other than that, this team is really solid. Uh, just needs probably a small amount of tweaking. Next, we have the Detroit Carvanas. This team is really solid. There's not much to gripe about it other than the threats are there. They're just not as. Actually, I take that back. The problem with this team is that the teams in front of it are just better. I would say that's this team's only problem. Um, Exadrill is a great Pokemon. It was a MVP nominated Pokemon. Tapu Koko is great at what it does. Infernape's a great Pokemon in the League format. Superior, even though its move pool is really limited, it's really good at what it does in just spamming Leaf Storm. There's not a lot of grass resistant Pokemon out there, and even if you do switch in your grass resist, it doesn't want to take a +2 or +3 Leaf Storm. Hoopon Brown is a really good wall breaker, but that's really all it can do. Mandibuzz is a great wall, but it's really easy for someone to set up on it. Same with Ferrothorn, really easy to set up on. Latias is a great Pokemon. Yamega is really only good at passing. It's not the only thing that's good at, but at passing speed boosts around. Salazzle on this team's symmetry is actually pretty good. Being able to poison steel types, there's a lot of steel types around. Um, the Squirts have 1, the Wobbuffets have 4, the Shamans have 1. This team has 3, none, 1. So there's a good amount of steel types around, and be able to toxic something like Celesteela, a great wall like that, is a really good thing to have. If I'm not mistaken, I do believe poison types are immune to toxic though, but Salazzle's a great Pokemon. Seismitoad is the only like questionable Pokemon I have in this team. Even though it's not bad, it's not great. I felt like there was better Pokemon. There's better ground types and better water types that he could have choose from. But that's my only gripe about this team. Next, we have the St. Clair Shaman. This team is extremely solid top down. Garchomp physically you can run it like any way you want. It can be a mixed attacker. It's a great physical sweeper. It's a great physical wall. Heatran, we all know what Heatran can do. Electivire is the only questionable Pokemon I have on this team. Mega Metagross is a top 5 Pokemon in the game right now. Mamoswine is a great Pokemon. Not a lot of people want to deal with a Life Orb Mamoswine right now. Salamence is a great Pokemon. Cloyster is a great Pokemon. Both Mucks are solid, even though probably a Lowland Muck will be coming if he does decide to bring it. Zapdos is a great lower tier pick. Well, not lower tier, but lower draft pick. Heracross is a great wall breaker. It's always good to have a ghost type to block rapid spins. And then T-Char is a good pick. My only one thing I do really like about the symmetry is that something that would really destroy this team would be a great like fast ice type, kind of like Mamoswine. So having one of the best counters for your team on your team is a great thing to have. The only thing I could see this team doing better is possibly dropping Electivire, just because physical electric types are kind of LOL, and that Zapdos is a way better Volt Switcher. So maybe switching Electivire out for like a bulky water type, just because Cloyster is a water type, but you're most likely going to be using ice moves with it, like Icicle Spear or Ice Shard. So, or Ice Spear. So that's the only problem, not problem, only critique I have with St. Clair Shamans. Great team, just maybe dropping Electivire for a better Pokemon, like a bulky water or maybe another threat, something like that. Next we have the St. Clair the Orlando Magic Mikes. The only difference between this team and the St. Clair Shaman is that there's not one Pokemon I can maybe critique, other than maybe Umbreon, but I would say Umbreon's a better Pokemon than Electivire. Landorus T is another like top 5 Pokemon in the game. Weavile's a great Pokemon. Um, Probably has the best pursuit in the game, other than maybe Tyranitar. And then since Latios and Latias were both picked, Alakazam, great Pokemon with Magic Guard. Azumarill, a lot of people don't want to deal with a 105, um, a, a 105 base attack. Aqua Jet, Breloom, another priority user on this team. Pheromosa is a great Pokemon. It's probably the best glass cannon in the game, with I think base 10, I'm sorry, 132 attacks, and then it has I think 151 speed. So that's a great speed tier to hit. Clefable is one of the fattest Pokemon in the game. Raichu, really solid Pokemon. Mimikyu, a lot of people sleep on, but I would say in like Sun and Moon, it's a top 15 Pokemon. Gyarados with the introduce of Z Crystals is one of the best Pokemon in the game right now. Umbreon is a good wall, and it's a lot of psychic types were picked, so being able to wall those Pokemon is really good. And then Mega Scizor is a top 5 Mega Pokemon. Like I said, the only critique I could maybe see is maybe dropping Umbreon for something else, just because it's setup fodder for other sweepers. But Umbreon's probably not going to be coming to that many battles anyways, so I guess it's a weakness, but it's not like a huge crippling one. I think that's all I have for the Magic Mix. Oh, I forgot the on the Golden State Wobbuffets. This extra number is adding up the bonus stats that the Wobbuffets would have. So that's their base stats in total. But Magneton is most likely going to have either like a Life Orb or a Eviolite set. Chansey has to run Eviolite, and then adding up the huge power on Mega Mawile adds it up to 6, gives it the extra like 300. A lot of Pokemon do, I mean, teams do have like one um, Eviolite loser or like one um, huge power user, maybe like one or two. But since Zell did have like three, I did add those up. Next, we have the Marysville Kingdras. Um, I'm going to try to throw bias out of the way for this team, but I would say it's probably the most threatening team in the league. Thunderous, being able to have that priority prankster is really good. Jirachi is a great Pokemon. I would say its biggest benefit is that if you're having a close game where like luck is going to decide the like fate of the game, Jirachi automatically puts the luck on your side. Kyurem Black is probably the best wall breaker in the game. Greninja's a top 5 Pokemon. Actually, I would say probably top 10 Pokemon right now. Um, Zygarde is probably the only Pokemon, was one of the two Pokemon I'm a little iffy on right now. But it does have many roles it can fit. I don't think it's super great at those roles, but it can fill them. It's a good physical wall. It's also, it being a ground type, is immune to electric. It can set up with Dragon Dance or Coil. So it also has one of the most spammable moves in the game for something like Celesteela that you would think it's immune to ground types, and you get hit with 1,000 arrows for special effective damage, and it does like 60%, and then you're forced to switch into something else. Tracheon, I think, is the glue that holds this team together, being another wall breaker, being able to one hit things like Blissey, Chansey, Porygon 2, like other great walls in the game. I do think it's really good at that. Darkrai, I am a little iffy on, but when I see it has that like 120 speed and 130 special attack, I do feel better sleeping at night. Um, I would say it has lost its value just because Dark Void has been nerfed so hard. With that, I think it has like 60% accuracy right now. So unless you run like wide lens, it still has like a 66% chance. So something I'm probably not going to gamble with. Lycanroc Day is probably the best. Is a really good fire counter, and a lot of fire Pokemon have been picked in this draft. Something like Victini, um, both Charizards. Actually, only Charizard X is picked. Um, so it's great in that aspect. Kingdra got MVP of last season. I don't think Kingdra will be coming every week like it did last season, but I do have the Rain with Pelipper to back it up, and Pelipper is a way better water setter than Politoed. Also, we do have Thundurus on the team, so we can also help that in the rain. Also, Greninja having Water Shuriken in the rain is definitely going to be a plus side for this team. And then Mega Slowbro also can utilize the rain. Entei is really here just because I wanted another Pokemon with priority, and I did want a Fire type on the team just in case I needed another Pokemon to get rid of the steals that are running around, like Ferrothorn, Celesteela, stuff like that. So I think Fire Pokemon are definitely a must-have in the draft format right now, just because Seal is running around so much. And then we do have Mega Slowbro. I'm not hugely happy about this pick. Mega Slowbro is a great Pokemon, but um, all the Pokemon Megas I did want are unreleased right now, so it's not a bad thing to have, and it's really going to help me out in some matchups coming up, so I am happy about that. Alright, so that is the week pre-week preseason power rankings. All the colors from this season are still from last season except the Carvanas. But if you're struggling to see some of the teams, just let me know in the comments and then I will change them. For whatever reason, the Detroit Carvanas always, no matter what color combination I use, are always hard to see. But the rest of them should be alright. So I think that is it for this video. And I will see you guys probably tomorrow.